leg to help you. Right leg, right leg. Good. Pull down. Use the right rein, flex it. You're pulling down. Use the right rein to flex it. Spiral the circle in if you need to. Good. And now soften that right rein when she drops down. It was too late. Your left hand was wide. There we go. Good job. Good job. Now push her out with that inside leg. Slowly. Okay, so now we're going to get this a little more sophisticated. You're going to use the right rein to bring her into a smaller circle, massaging it till she bends. Okay? You with me? She's a little fast. I know that. There we go. Bring her gradually smaller circle. Good. Slow down. Okay, slow down. Tight circle. Bring it. Good. Yes. Carefully squeeze the inside and push her slowly out to a larger circle. Good. Keep that right rein kind of massaging softly. Good. Push her out. Push her out. That left hand needs to be near her neck so that when she moves out, she moves into it. Okay, so she needs to be, no, you're pulling the hands down, Glenn. Bring her nose right. There we go. Now push her out. Bring her nose right. Bring her nose right. Bring her nose right. Good. And softly push her out. Bring her nose right. Bring her nose right. Bring her nose right. Bring it right. Good. Push her out and gradually straighten her with the outside aids as she moves out. Good. Good. Left hand near her neck, not wide. There we go. Gradually straighten. Good. Now bring her right. Bring her nose right, not down. There we go. That's it. Super. And forward to walk. Good. Give her a loose rein for a minute. Completely free.
We're on to you.
Taught me that, Rachel.
I'm not sure that's true.
Gina's fault. Gina's fault. You can move forward a little bit more too. You want to move over there? Look at these chairs that Danny and Andrew bought. Aren't they gorgeous?
Okay. And then push those hands forward. Let her drop down. Very good. So before we get really going on a theme, do you have any questions about yesterday or things you want to discuss before we move on?
I did like you to explain to me one more time why we did a tighter circle to the left than we did to the right.
It's a good question. We did a tighter circle to the left than we did to the right because she readily bends left. She overbends left. Okay. We want to bend her enough that she feels like it's not quite what she wants to be doing. Like it's a little hard and she's looking for another solution to the problem you're giving her. Okay? To the right, you bring her nose 3 or 4 inches or 5 inches to the right. And she goes, I don't really like bending right. I want to find another place to put my neck that gives me some comfort. And she's solution. And then she might offer 3 or 4 responses to that. And the one you like best, you reward it. Okay? So she lowers her neck a little bit, rounds her neck, brings her nose in, and then you let her come to the middle and get straighter. Now, as a species, horses are more symmetrical than humans are because they're very linear. They're economical running creatures. But they all have a little asymmetry. And we describe that asymmetry in equestrian terms as stiff side, hollow side. A little bit of a misnomer because it's not the stiff side is not really the side where the muscles are stiff. It's really the other way around. But it's stiff in terms of if you pull the left rein, she will fold in half to the left. Laterally, she will overbend. Okay? That's the hollow side, the concave side. And if you pull the right rein, she's likely to stay straight like a board and swing her butt to the left. She spins like a canoe, but doesn't like to flex her neck to the right. Okay? So that's her stiff side. And that means that if you're walking along and you flex your muscles in the right and you give a pressure on the right rein, she's not really wanting to bend. Okay? If you insist a little bit and say, hey, I need you to bring your nose around to the right, which you physically can do because you've got a direct line to the bit and you can just pull on the bit on one side until the head follows, right? And if that leg is on that side, then she's got to go around it. So the neck will bend. But as soon as you get her a little bit to the right of center on a big circle, she's like, I really am not sure I want to do this. She would prefer to find another place for her neck. And if you don't let her go back to the left, where she's happy all day long, doesn't need to change anything, then she'll start kind of working around and saying, I need to get more comfortable here. And she'll explore coming downward. So she will initiate the lowering of the neck or the rounding of the pole. You can't force a horse to lower the neck and round the pole. Can't be done. They invert the neck as hard as they want to, and then by the time you have physical influence over them, you've got them in a position where they cannot respond. She runs away with you? And does she succeed in running away with you? Right. So, you know, I still feel like safety is number one. So if the horse is running away with you, then in a stronger bit will keep you from getting in trouble, then that's an acceptable decision. I would suggest a normal snaffle, you know, and a fairly fat one. She's got a small mouth, so it's not fat by bit standards. Like I wouldn't put one of those great big ones. But basically, you want a mild bit, a mild, simple snaffle, so that she will seek it. Uh-huh. Yeah. 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 Well, so if the trainer is having difficulty with it, and you know, then he's happy with her in that bit. You might have him ride, if he's an experienced trainer and he rides her in that bit successfully, then you might consider that, and having you ride in the snaffle. That's another possibility. Because, you know, you're still relatively novice as a dressage rider, and she is going to be less forgiving of you exploring and learning how to ride in connection in this bit. She'll go, oh, you're getting warm. Don't touch me like that. You know, and neck straight up. That's going to be the relationship you end up having with her. If the bit's a little too strong for, you know, the subtlety of your relationship with her yet. And as she gets more advanced and also more trusting of you, and you get more skilled, then you can go to something with a little more firmness to it. You know, so by the time she's very powerful and has like an extended canter that really could go right through you, you might have her in a mild double bridle, you know? I mean, just for example. I mean, in the end, we don't want to have such a strong manual feeling with the connection in the end. But by the time we put the horse in the double bridle, the horse is in self-carriage, more submissive, and, you know, and we are far more sophisticated in the way we handle the connection. But it's good for her, especially as the breed, to learn to lower the neck and kind of take a little bit of pressure on the bit. You want a solid pressure on the bit. You want the horse to be testing it, but you want the horse to be testing it outward, downward, not upward. Yeah. Part of that, you know, is what she is in her training, and part of that is where you are in your training. You're still pulling your hands down. So she's going to resist you by pulling the head up. It's that simple. I mean, learning to do the other is not that simple, but that is that simple. If you pull down, she'll pull up. She will resist. That's what horses do. They explore the confines. You know what I mean? And then they test it. So if you're pulling down, she will pull up. All right. However, the things that you're learning today, you know, the things we're working on are fairly universal methods for putting a horse on the aids, and they will work in a mild bit and they will work in a stronger bit. You just have to the horse will be less forgiving in a bit that's a little much for them, okay? So the goals, what we're going to do today won't change. It will be the same as what we do in a fat snaffle, It would be the same as what we'd do in a double bridle. I'd just have you on the Berdoon, which is fairly thin snaffle, and I'd have you handling it this way. So we don't have to change our program. And if you know, the more you learn it, the more bit you'll be able to handle delicately enough that it won't offend the horse and she'll accept it. It's just harder to make a bit acceptable to the horse when it's a little too much bit for their training and their size and all that, okay? So she's got one of the legal Mylar bits with a port in it. And it's just a lot of bit for a delicate young Arabian mare. I'm looking at her. I mean, if you met my horse, you'd know what I mean. I mean, it's relative. You know, your size to her size relationship, she's relatively delicate. Not that she takes a light feel when she's resisting, but her conformation is delicate. She's got a fine throat latch, a little head, not a big neck. You know, that's what I mean. So just, you know, relative to a large warm-blood horse, her neck is not only refined, but it's also kind of willowy. It can go high, left and right. It's kind of, yeah, she's not muscle-bound, yeah? He's bendy. My husband's a gymnast. He's like, I like it when you're bendy. There we go. Very nice. There you go. Good, good. Very good. So you're doing a really good job of keeping your hands from pulling down. Lift them a little more and just feel that elbow move with the neck. This patience pays off. Super. So to finish the answer to your question, when you bend her a little bit left on a 20-meter circle, she's like, great, that's the way I like it. Don't talk to me. So you need to take her onto a small enough circle that she's like, really? I have to bend this much? And that means, because she bends relatively to the left more than a 20-meter circle, more than 12, more than 15. More like, when you get to saying, okay, I want you bent left like a 10-meter circle or on a small circle, she starts saying, hey, can we get on a longer rein now? Can we get on a bigger circle? Can I go straight? And she starts testing the connection. And then as soon as you get her testing, you can pick the options of the options she gives you. Up, no, not so much. That's not going to get you anything. Down, yeah, that'll get you a little release, a little softening. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I spend a lot of time tracking right. You're going to be the most successful first. So although we want to be symmetrical in the way we train the horse, sometimes you have to sort of establish the education on the easy way. And then once you have those skills, you take that education with you to the hard way. All right? And then I explored with you also a little bit counter positioning the neck while you're on a large circle. So the next thing we might do is we'll have you on a left-hand circle, but we'll have you pretending you're on a right-hand circle. So you'll use the right rein like it's the inside, even though it's the outside, yeah? And you'll counter-flex her a little bit till she says, you know, I really don't like flexing right. Can I go to the middle? Can I go? And you say, well, not up. Well, how about can I go to the middle down? You say, yeah, sure. You can come to the middle down. You see what I mean? And then you can start to do that from the other side. So these are techniques that you use to sort of work through, educate the horse on the easy side, and then bring the education to the harder side. All right? So we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here, but I'm glad you asked that question, and I want you to understand that there's a lot of principle behind my choices. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. They're good questions. All right, so now let's go forward to trot, tracking right. You've got a nice walk going, so let's go forward to trot. That's it. Good. Good. You diagonal. Now see if you can just kind of get her neck right in front of you, and that's going to require using your right rein to bring her neck to the middle. Big circle, 20-meter circle, and just try to get her nose on the line of travel. Don't pull the hand down. That's good for you. You shorten the rein. Don't pull the hand down. Draw her directly back at the elbow and round your wrist a little bit on the right. There we go. Good. That's good. And sitting up, you're leaning in a lot. Try to sit up in the middle. Good. And use your inside leg. She has to go around the inside leg a little bit. Good job. Good job. Good. And your left is much better, carrying it and being neutral. Now let's spiral a little bit, not pulling down. And you're going to round your wrist and massage the right. So you're out talking to the lips and the bit with your fingers. You're talking to the pole a little with your wrist and the neck with your arm. And there you go. Good girl. Good girl. Keep that inside leg on. Keep massaging. Good. And now begin to push her out. When she drops her neck down a little bit, you push her out with the inside leg. Don't let her neck go straight. Just push her out from the barrel. Good, good. And when she gets out, keep your left rein close to her neck and high. And just drape that outside rein around her neck and have your outside leg really present. Good, good. And now we're going to spiral in again. Till she bends and then maybe lowers her neck just a little bit. Come on, nose right, nose right. Spiral in. Massaging, chewing and kind of squeezing and moving your fingers on the rein. Invite the bit to kind of play at the corners of her lips and ask her to chew, yeah? Good, good job. Yeah, and then soften and push her out with the inside leg. Flex her again. And then good. And just next time she drops down, just make it very pleasant for her. Good girl. Massage her little right. Bring her in. That's it. Now push her out. Right leg push. Whoops. Don't let her nose point out. And let's go forward to walk. No? Yeah. You can stay on this. Yeah, exactly. Good. Okay, so that's getting some success already, and she's not as wild as she was yesterday, so her tempo is not so bad that you have to bring her back to walk every, half a circle. Yesterday she was flying around, and we had to square one. Very nice. So let's establish that nice active walk with a high hand and bending elbows, back, front, back, front, back, front. Super. Good. So let's do this exercise with the spiral in slow-mo in the walk now. Okay, so you start on a 20-meter circle, your nose a little to the right, and then use the inside rein to guide her spiral into a smaller circle. Now, when she does that, you're just stopping aiding. That's her training you. You follow? You're asking for something, and then you're backing off as soon as she lifts her neck. And then she goes, oh, all I have to do is lift my neck, and she'll stop asking me for something. Yeah, so when you flex her right and she lifts her neck, you take that rein a little firmer and bring her nose to the right. No, bring her to the right. You're asking her to turn right. Let her turn right, but bring her nose to the right. Yeah, yeah, and massage it. Good. Good. You don't have to fight with her with your leg. There you go. Exactly. I'm wanting you to turn her into a smaller circle. Bring her neck a little there. Good, good, good. And then you soften a little bit. She doesn't have to be super bent. She just has to stay a little bent. Yes, exactly. Good. Now she looked the other way. Don't pull down. Yeah. You see, as soon as you lift it, yeah, direct. And yes, exactly. A little to the midline, a little bit rounding your wrist. Okay? Did that make sense to you? I don't want you to, look at me, I don't want you to do this with your full hand out here. You to do this with your, that talks to the pole. Yes, that's what we're asking. No, we're asking her to go in. The first thing you ask her to go in around your inside leg. That's excellent, just like that. Yeah, so you do want to guide the front end of the horse into a smaller circle, like into a snail shell, yeah? You just keep it quietly on her side at the moment. Good, now this is very nice. And you're following with your elbows well. Now be careful that you don't empathize with her bend and start leaning right and get your head to the right. You sit up. Good, very good. Feel those elbows moving. Good, nice, good. See if you can get her marching a little bit more. So now she's on a smaller circle and she's bent a little bit. She's lowering her neck a little bit. And now you can gently apply your inner leg. And you can apply the heel or the calf. You can also apply the whole thigh. Just say this pillar that you just went around, this pillar is now moving you at the girth over, out to the larger circle. Good. Sit in the middle. Don't look down the right side so much. Now she's looking completely the other way. So you have to keep enough right rein influence that she stays a little bit looking around to the right. Very nice. And as you move her out to the larger circle, begin to present her with that outside rein along her neck. This is another reason it's so important that you don't widen that hand and pull it down. You keep it right against her neck. Okay? So that she feels as she moves to the larger circle, she moves into your left leg and rein. Okay? That's the imaginary round pen wall. All right? So this round pen down and sideways, that is a dead end method. You take her in. When she responds to that inside rein coming in, good. Then you can begin, that's it. Yeah. Then you push her out a little bit with the inside leg and present her with the outside leg and rein to either make a down transition or straighten her a little bit or to ride her forward. Keep that. Now feel the weight in your left elbow. Feel her mouth. But don't drop the right rein. She bent the other way because your right leg and rein are doing their job when you connect it on the outside. Okay? So I don't want you to make her dead straight. I want to make her clarify. I'll clarify. Straight is on the line of travel. So you take her from a 10-meter bend to a 20-meter bend. Nice. Okay. So even, though there are little errors of placement or little variables in the way you're executing the exercise or something, she's listening to some of the aids. Maybe 75% of the aids she's responding to appropriately. She's walking out, she's lowering her neck, she's relaxing. You're getting a quicker response each time you apply the aid. So this is all just part of training and exercise. Multiple times until the results are getting more consistent, okay? That's very good. Hand comes up, fingers close, the wrist turns, and then if you have your reins are too long, you can follow through with your forearm across your body a little bit. If that's happening a lot, you need shorter reins. Good, good, super reaction. Now she's in both reins. Did you feel it? Very, very nice. She wouldn't be in both reins if your left hand had been over to the side giving little sideways downward tugs. It's right there for her to meet it. Just like the round pen wall is there when you send her out with the whip, she's going to come to the wall. Left elbow bent, keep that hand on contact. Good, now the reins are too long. Turn her into the circle a bit. Upward, inward, like scooping ice cream. Good. Yep, well, she doesn't get to. Tell the horse that she has peripheral vision. There's absolutely no need for her to turn her head. She doesn't have binocular vision anyway, so she doesn't have to. There she goes. Now ride it. There you go. Good. And if she starts to come up against that rein, you don't pull down and resist it. You lift and flex it. There we go. Lift and flex it. That's good, right? Flex. Good. Super. And see if she can find that left rein. If it's loose completely, she's not going to find it. The wall has to be there a little bit when she moves out. Nice. That's the first time today that when she's resisted, you didn't pull down. You just flexed her. That's really good. Really good. Good. A little bend in the elbows, following rhythmically. Your left rein's kind of gone missing. See if you can keep it laying just lightly across her neck. Good. Super. Super. That's a good moment. All right, now we're going to do a small circle to the left at the center line, just like we did yesterday. Where are you going? Yeah, it's a circle. Okay. Yep. Turn left, make a small circle at the center line there. Good. Good. Now she likes to bend left, so that's fine. Kind of keep that right rein when you change rein next time. Don't throw it completely away. Let's experiment with keeping that contact that you have, showing her that it will follow her. Right. There you go. Now turn right. 20-meter circle. Point at me. Okay, so next time, start turning onto the circle earlier, okay? You tend to go straight for 5 meters and then turn. Where are your hands? Good, 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 good. Got to see if you can get a little more walk going. Give it a little squeeze with the legs. Come on, move it. Good. Turn her into the circle. There we go. Good, good. Yeah. So it's not just about trying to flex her right while she's going straight, okay? She's not responding to the 10-meter flexion, then you turn her into a smaller circle. You follow through very soon. All right, let's go forward to trot again. So you do the same thing all over again. You lift the hand and flex her a little bit. You push her out just a little bit. You squeeze at the outside aid, and you ride her to trot. Hands up. Good. Good. And try to keep posting in that tempo. All right. Can you hear me with my voice? All right. Just keep that tempo. Keep carrying your hands up a little bit. Good. Now, you need to shorten your range. Shorten them. You don't wiggle and jiggle your way up. There we go. Good. Now let's ride the exercise and trot again. Good. Bend her in a little bit. Turn her in a little bit. Good. Then push her out a little bit and meet her with the outside aids. Turn her in, turn her in, turn her in. Turn her in. Good. That's it. Then you push her out and you meet her with the outside aids. Not yet. Not yet. I want you to follow this exercise a couple more times and try. It's getting good. No, don't pull down and wide with the hands. Flex inward. Good. Turn her in. There you go. Now push her out and try to meet her with the outside leg and rein. Lay it against her neck. Have her feel it. Now turn her in. Lift the hands. Quicker. Turn. So I mean it. Turn her in. Like start a smaller circle. Turn in. There we go. Good. Now you can push her out. I mean like the moment she turns in and bends, and then you push her out with the inside leg. Good. Now push her out with the inside leg till she meets your outside leg and rein. Good. Flex your wrist. Flex your wrist. You went to the forearm before you went to the wrist. Good. Push her out and meet her with the outside rein. Good. Good job. Good job. Good. Good. Super. Super. All right, let's go forward to walk. Did you hear me? Let's go forward to walk. Good. All right. Now let's let her enjoy the walk a little bit. She can relax. And now I want you to drop your stirrups and post a little bit at the walk, okay? We worked on this, I think, the first time. Is it falling out? I've got a headband. You want the headband around your head? Yeah, yeah. Is it in? Right, if you were going to do posting trot without stirrups. That's right. A little bit of bend in the knee, bringing your calf around the horse, toes turning forward. That's very good. Now this is a beautiful leg position. When you're riding in your stirrups, you're turning your toes out more and your heels in more. Yeah. So you want to keep, but this is very nice, and I love the way you're sort of turning your thigh in so the thighs are pointed forward. That's excellent. Now the next thing we got to do that's a little harder is with your knees pointed to the front like that, you want to tuck your tail underneath you. You want to, there, you want to sit on the back of the rocker. Now do you see how your knees and toes turned out when you did that? That's normal human anatomy. That's what all humans do. So some of the things we do with our bodies in dressage are in keeping with our natural biomechanics, and some are contrary. That one's contrary, okay? Our bodies naturally go open like this and closed like this. So when we close like this, the butt goes out, the open like this, the hips come forward. So you have to train yourself to rotate in and then lift your pubic bone, tuck your pelvis, get your tailbone pointed forward. That's not natural. Lots of training. The toes. Your back hurts you? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So the best thing you can do for your back is what you're doing right now. You've tucked your tail underneath you and you've shortened your abs. Do you feel that? You had to use your lower abs to pull your pubic bone up. You want to use the muscles in the front to support your back so it doesn't hyperextend. Okay? What you're doing sometimes in your posting trot is you're arching your back and then you can get a pinch there. And also, sometimes you twist a little bit laterally. So you want to really keep your torso a rectangle with the front muscles as firm as the back muscles. All right? And you can keep your knees up a little. If that's where you can get your pelvis tucked underneath you, that's fine. There you go. Good. There's a deep seat. Now, do you feel how your weight's distributed not just in your seat bones, but it's all the way down the leather seat britches, down into your knee, and even the top of your boot's got a little weight in it. That's right. So that's how you want to keep your seat applied. You're not pinching anywhere, but you're distributing that weight smoothly and evenly all around, and you're using a considerable amount of muscle to keep the thigh rotated forward. Not pinching, but rotated. Yes, exactly. And I like the way you're kicking your heels away a little bit like snowplow, like a butt come out the back. Got it. Which is natural. That's what happens. So you got to keep playing with those two things until you can do them both at the same time. A little more bend in your knees, which is purely hamstring bending. There we go. And make contact with the boot against your horse's side. Good. Very good. All right, now we're going to try to post a little at the walk. Down, up, down, up. It's slower than trot. There's no thrust. So you have to, and I don't care if you leave the saddle like a millimeter. It doesn't matter. But try to keep the toes and knees pointed straight forward. It is really hard. It is. So that means you're doing it right. There you go. There you go. Good. Good thing scarcely leaves the saddle. If she were trotting, she'd be bouncing you just that a little bit more clearance. You'd be skipping the pommel with your seat, but you should barely leave the saddle. Keep those toes pointed forward. The knees pointed forward. There you go. Now let's keep working on it. You want to try to get a little bit of clearance of the back of your seat, and you almost come out of the middle of your thigh and roll a little more into the front. Yeah, yeah. Good. Good. Super. This is what, you lament that you didn't ride as much in the previous years, but you still are very athletic. I mean, I had a 65-year-old lady at my learned to ride so much better because we did work without whole nother planet. Yeah. Get those toes in. Yeah, yeah. That's right. And pull that. You don't have to figure out how to help those at the gym. You just have to do posting at the walk for a few minutes a day. It doesn't take long. Turn those knees in, heels out, foot horizontal, heel back under your seat. There you go. And whether you leave the saddle or not, if you go long enough until they burn, you'll be strengthening them. It takes time. You get very efficient. Turn those toes in. There you go. You don't want to really focus on keeping front orientation to your knees. And you almost think of rolling in to the front of your leather on your britches. Yeah, you almost become a little more pigeon-toed as you rise than as you sit. That's very good. Very good. Keep the knees up now. You're starting to kick them too straight. Got to keep your lower leg back underneath you. So, and this is important because if you rise by kicking into the stirrup quads, you will kick your foot out in front of you. And that was a challenge before. You worked pretty hard to get your leg back under you, right? So you've got to keep your hamstring engaged while you straighten the knee. Yeah. This is very good. All right. Now, let's pick up your stirrups. Pick up your stirrups. Good. And let's go forward to trot. Post as low as you can. Put more effort in staying that low and keeping your knees ahead. Roll those knees in. Roll those toes in. Post as low as you can. Pick up your hands now. There we go. Pick up your hands now. Pick up your hands. Higher your hands. Listen. There we go. I only use that barky voice because I'm not getting the result I want in 3 requests. There, lift those hands. Lift them. There you go. Good. Focus on your position. Your toes need to come in. Your heels need to come out. There you go. Now use your abs to get more of your seat when you sit. Post low, post low. Super, super. Pick up the hands. There we go. Good. All right, let's go forward to walk. Nice job. Good. Now everything's turned like this again, so rotate in. There we go. Good. Thing that's very important, not just, the alignment and everything like that, but you notice when you had to work to post low, you had to work to get the same mechanic your stirrups, didn't you? So when you're posting high and then coming back in the saddle, you are giving an aid for the horse to lift her neck and hollow her back. Okay? So some of her lifting her neck is because of the way you're sitting. And so it really behooves you to do this. This is something that there's nothing wrong with your abilities to go down. That's a good that she lifted her. Really, all you had to do was not interfere with her, and she dropped her neck down into a beautiful shape. This mare has good conformation. She needs to learn to accept the bit and want to go into it so that you don't have to yield the rein completely to have her go in the right shape. Because when you leave her alone and you don't sit hard on her back, she's the right shape. She's really a very lovely mare. Just don't pull down. Yes, exactly. Flex her. There you go. Put your legs on and flex her. Look up. Look where you're going. That's it. Pick up your left hand. There we go. Give her nothing to fight upward from. Yeah, they all like the pintos. Good, good. All right, now let's track left. We're going to change rein. We're going to do a 20-meter circle to the left, partly just to give her a break. Although we're doing a little walk, a little trot, so there's no harm in her doing a large circle, for a while. We're not wearing her body out. Good. And you just know that you don't, on a hollow side, get the twofer. On the stiff side, if you flex the horse to the inside and bend her laterally, she'll offer you a longitudinal bend. When you bend her laterally, on the hollow side, you don't always get the longitudinal response right away. But she's been going, yeah, nice. So, like I said, she's got good conformation. If you flex her a little bit, do not pull the outside hand down. If you feel pain, flex her a little left, and then squeeze the right rein as if you're about to change your flexion to the right. Upward, squeezy. There, and then change your mind and carry on, you see? So in this direction, she needs the right rein to play the game. All right? So you're going to turn her in a little bit, but that's not going to give you the give you need. So turn her into the circle a little bit with the inside rein. You get her laterally bent. Now push her out with the right leg. And now use your right rein as if you want to flex her right. But just don't let it happen. Okay, so almost. There we go. Good. Now you've spent quite a bit of time the last 2 days training her to give first laterally and then longitudinally to that right rein. So now, even though it's the outside rein, you can say, I want a left inside rein. She kind of bends her neck. Nothing else happens. You use the left leg, push her out, and then you use the right rein like it's the inside rein, and she goes, oh, I know this one. Nose to the right, nose down. You don't have her attention, so start over. Flex her left. Left leg pushes her out, and then straighten her with the right rein, and even nudge the bit like you want to flex her right. Right leg and right rein. Right leg and right rein. I don't know why we had to put the truck right there. There you go. There you go. She doesn't mind as much the right contact. So she doesn't go, oh, you touched me, as much on the right. Very good. All right, now think about where your seat is. You're kind of pitched forward on your tummy. You need to tuck under. There you go. Good, good correction of your leg. You've got your toes and knees pointed forward. It's not that I want you to grip with your knees. I just want them pointed more forward. That's a rotation of the thigh and the hip joint. Good, good. All right, now let's go forward to trot. Posting as low as you can stand. Good. Good. Now play a little bit, flex her a little. Hang on, you're not pulling down, remember? If you've got a few strides where you've got loose, floppy rein, you quickly shorten them. Flex her left. Now your bottom's way out the back. Tuck under. Good. See if you can post lower first. Don't worry about her head. Just get your knees and toes pointing to the front. Get your seat closer to the front of the saddle. Good. Good. Slow down. You can talk to her. Easy, girl. Good. Knees to the front. And let's go for a walk. Good. Super. And then she walked out really nicely into the bridle. She even seeking the bridle. So that's saying a lot, that you're being sympathetic and explaining the responses that you want, and you're making the bit not seem like something to be afraid of or to fight. It's very, very good. Now, I will say I saw her a little bit to the right. She started sticking her tongue a little bit, moving it around once. It was only once. Horses do that every once in a while. That's like this bit. Not tongue friendly.
Big tongue. Room for the tongue.
Yeah, but it's not a curb bit. You're using it like a snaffle. Curb bits have the port to be good when you're using it like a curb bit, solid in the mouth with side pieces that give. But a snaffle is moving back and forth in the mouth, so it messes with the tongue. Or a simple loose rein. Yeah. I don't really have a big preference, but I would say that figure out what the horse likes more. Yeah, the French snaffle is milder and more mobile. That's what she needs. But she has a very small muzzle. The problem with the link bit is that the joint, there are two joints. There's not a lot of room between the two bars of her mouth. There may not be enough room for a nugget. If you do get a double jointed snaffle, it has to be a very small nugget, an olive nugget rather than a longer one, because if it's any wider, one of those joints is sitting on a bar. And that makes it quite a severe bit in that moment that the joint hits the bar, okay? So if she were mine, I would start with a single jointed one for that reason. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. If you develop your skill with the aids and your skill with influence, I think that bit should be excellent. And it's the bit you're going to use in a double bridle if you ever move up the levels anyway. They don't have ported snaffles in the double bridles. They would interfere with the port. The curb is the one that has the port, exactly. So. They add a second bit because, one, the horse is in self-carriage, so there's no. It helps with engagement of the hindquarters, actually. But you can, with a very delicate feel, you can influence the horse's roundness and shift weight to the rear. With a curb bit, yes. If you have done all the work in the snaffle to create the bridge and the strength, yeah. And the other reason, one of the most important reasons they developed the curb bit, is so that people in war could ride their horses through intricate maneuvers with the reins in one hand. It's designed to never move left and right with two reins. It's designed to sit still, right. So you put a curb in a horse's mouth, it's not supposed to be moved with one hand and another. It's both reins. Well, yes, but you don't move the curb bit. You move with the ring finger, you move the snaffle, but you leave the curb bit still. It's longitudinal. When you close your curb finger, you take the curb rein and it rounds the horse more. Well, it's collection, but truthfully also, in the modern sport horse, it maintains with a very light feel of the hand the roundness when the horse goes in full thrust mode and a full-blown extension as well. You know, I'm telling you, when you've got like a 1,600-pound warm blood stallion going full bore and enormous extension, little old me on a snaffle, I have to, right. It's too, you know, you'd have to be too rough to be tail. And so with the curb, they're like, got it, I'm right here, and you can just sit there and hold it and respect it as not so much as a manipulator, but as that is the wall against which I raise up, but I don't bust through it. Okay? I'm being realistic there. I mean, people would like to tell you that the horse barely touches it, but a good modern warm blood sport horse is in the bridle. It's not ounces. Yeah. In the extension. In the piaffe and the pirouette, there's almost weight of the rein. Because forward, they're thrusting upward. Yeah. So you ask a lot of really good questions, and like I said, I'm going to teach you and treat you like you're someone learning dressage on any type of horse, planning on building dressage foundation that will take you the levels.
That's what I want. I want
So
the foundation.
go to high levels, but that's what I teach. And if you modify here or there for other purposes, you know, that's your have other want to do some Western this or some this or that. Yeah, exactly. So that's this.
Level 2.
Uh-huh.
Depending on how much she likes it.
Yeah, so far. Part of it. You want, yeah, exactly. But she's very responsive.
Yeah.
So it's very good. All right, ready to call it a day?
Yeah.
All right.
Hot.
Yeah, it is hot. Good job with the rising without stirrups. That's hard.
That is so hard. I'm going to practice that some more.
And just make sure that you're also keeping your abs short so that you're not back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Catch that. Yeah, I wouldn't completely drop the rein. Do you have a whip? No, you don't.
No, we're learning to read each other, but I know that's no